very good morning to our wonderful parents and our learners. I'm Gagnita Dillon, and much like our learners, I believe I'm still learning something new every day.
And I am Miss Manju Navani, equally delighted to be part of this incredible learning journey. It is our absolute pleasure to welcome you to the inauguration of the academic year 2026-2027.
Today is particularly special as we celebrate a meaningful milestone 6 remarkable years of 21K school.
6 years of reimagining education, challenging conventions, and proving that learning is not defined by walls, but by curiosity, connection, and growth.
And as we step into our 7th academic year, we do so with bigger aspirations, deeper learning, and an even stronger community.
So, yes, you're not just joining a school, you're joining a journey that's 6 years young and clearly getting wiser every year.
At 21K, learning goes beyond completing content. It is about building confidence, curiosity, and independent thinking.
It's about asking questions, exploring possibilities, and sometimes even saying, there must be a better way to do this.
And of course, ensuring that learning remains engaging and meaningful, even on the days when Wi Fi decides to have its own plans.
I completely agree, Ms. Gagnita. In the midst of our fast paced digital lives, let's start by pausing through something timeless and grounding. Music has the power to calm the mind and prepare us for reflection and learning. To center our thoughts and find harmony, we begin with a beautiful rendition of the song Jayati Jayati Bharat Mata, a song that holds profound significance as a patriotic anthem that bridged the gap between classical Carnatic music and the Indian independence movement.
It is our pleasure to invite Sri Nandan Sundaram, a learner from the British Senior School. She is a talented artist at heart, with a keen sense of music and graceful presence as a singer and dancer. Through her artistic pursuits, she beautifully expressed creativity, discipline, and passion. Please join me in welcoming a learner who embodies both excellence and kindness, Sri Nandan Sundaram.
जयति जयति भारत माता जयति जयति भारत माता बुध गीता जयति जयति भारत माता बुध गीता निखिल मता वन निरता नत जन सुहिता निखिल मता वन निरता नत जन सुहिता जयति 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 भारत माता सकल जीव समता साधु साधु विदिता सकल जीव समता साधु साधु विदिता अखिल लोक प्रतिट परमानंद समुदिता अखिल लोक प्रतिट परमानंद समुदिता जयति 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 भारत माता अगणित गुणशीला अगणित गुणशीला अति दयाल बाला अगणित गुणशीला अति दयाल बाला प्रगतिद शुभ जाला पतित प्राण दोला प्रगतिद शुभ जाला पतित प्राण लोला जयति 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 भारत माता बुध गीता निखिल मता वन निरता नत जन सुहिता जयति 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 थैंक यू
Well, thank you, Sri Nandana. That was truly uplifting. Your rendition of Jayati Bharat filled the atmosphere with pride and devotion. And it was a beautiful reminder of the power of music to inspire and unite. Honestly, if our study playlist sounded like that, productivity levels across 21K might just reach new heights. At 21K school, education is not about fitting learners into a system. It is about designing a system that adapts to every learner.
Because every learner is unique. Some learn by doing, some by questioning, and some by asking, why do we need to learn this?
And honestly, that's our favorite question because that's where real learning begins.
Our vision is to enable every learner to discover their strengths, pursue their passions, and build their own paths with confidence.
At the heart of this is our idea of the happiest classroom, a space that is safe, joyful, and meaningful.
Where learners grow at their own pace because learning is not a race, it's a journey.
Where facilitators don't just teach, they mentor, guide, and occasionally double up as very efficient tech support.
Where learners think critically, collaborate openly, and embrace mistakes as part of their growth.
And where families are not just observers, but partners in the learning journey.
Every meaningful journey begins with a vision. We now invite the person who envisioned a school without walls yet full of possibilities, our founder and CEO, Mr. Yashwant Raj Parismal.
Good morning, everyone. Dear learners and parents of 21K School, our Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Sanjay Manjrekar ji, Ms. Aruna Shetty, Head of Schools, our leadership crew, facilitators, 21K crew members, and our Board of Directors. Welcome and thank you for being here today. Starting a new academic year always brings a sense of excitement, but today feels especially meaningful as we begin our seventh academic year at 21K School. Shri Manjrekar ji, it is truly a privilege to have you with us. Your journey in cricket has always stood out, not just for performance but for resilience and reflection. Your remarkable 1989 tour of Pakistan, where you average close to 95, is one of the toughest conditions, is always something we all admire. And your book, Imperfect, I think that title itself resonates deeply with us because education, like sport, is not about perfection. It's about growth, learning, and continuously becoming better. And that brings me to all of you, our parents. Whether you've been with us for years or just joining us this year, I want to start by saying we understand the decision you have made. Choosing a school is not easy. It comes with questions, expectations, and a lot of hope. At 21K School, we don't see ourselves just as an institution delivering education. We see ourselves as partners in your child's path to success. Our belief is simple: every child is different, and learning should reflect that. As we step into this new academic year, we want to build on that foundation with a clear focus. This year, we are calling it as the year of science. And when we say science, we do not mean it as subject alone. We mean a mindset of inquiry, the courage to ask why and what if, the ability to observe, experiment, and discover, a way of thinking that's logical, evidence based, and innovative, to not just accept answers but to discover them. Dear learners, if there is one thing that we are committing to you, it is this. You will not just learn at 21K School, you will grow and thrive. Grow in confidence, grow in curiosity, grow into individuals who are ready for the future. We are looking forward to building a year that is not just meaningful and joyful, but truly transformative together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parasmal, for your inspiring words and for continually guiding us with your vision and leadership. Your commitment to creating meaningful learning experiences truly shapes the journey of every learner here. We are grateful for your constant support and encouragement.
And now, for the moment you have all been eagerly waiting for, it's my honor to introduce our chief guest. Sanjay Manjrekar, who is a former Indian international cricketer and one of the most respected voices in cricket commentary. From facing the world's finest bowlers on the field to offering sharp and insightful analysis of it. His journey reflects a remarkable blend of performance and perspective. What truly sets him apart is his clarity of thought, discipline, and deep understanding of the game. Qualities that extend far beyond cricket and resonate strongly with learning and life.
For our learners, this is not just an opportunity to hear from a cricketer, but to learn from someone who embodies focus, resilience, and continuous growth. We are truly honored to have you with us today. And I must add, having you here feels a bit like match day. Only this time, we get expert commentary along with live lessons and thankfully, no scoreboard pressure.
To educate is to kindle a lamp within, one that transcends classrooms and quietly illuminates a lifetime of sharp perception, guiding one's direction in life. From darkness to light, this is the essence of learning.
Even in a virtual space, the light of knowledge transcends screens and connects us all. We now invite our chief guest, Mr. Manjrekar, our founder and CEO, Mr. Yashwant Raj Parismal, and our head of schools, Ms. Aruna Shetty, for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp.
On behalf of the entire 21K community, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you and invite you to share your thoughts with us, Mr. Manjrekar. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I need to get this vertical screen somehow horizontal. But in time, I think I'll get my son to figure that out. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, this feels a little different. And it's amazing the kind of thing that get done online, lighting the lamp online. And you talked about scoreboard pressure and everything. Yeah, so this feels a bit like me in what I do for a living, a profession where I don't have the scoreboard pressure, the players have it, but I have the pressure of handling that pressure that the players feel to make sure that is conveyed to the viewers. So that is the responsibility that we carry as commentators these days. But thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this day, and I just, in all the communications that I've had with you guys, I can see that this is a very, very important day for you. And I just love the overall passion that you guys have for the job. It's a wonderful profession, teaching. I think it's one of those jobs where you can actually talk about job satisfaction. And that is a very rare thing to have, where you enjoy going to work every day. It's a bit like my job as well. I hate to call it a job because I go there to watch cricket and then talk about cricket. That's my job. But yes, teaching is another, profession where I'm sure you feel very happy going either online or to school. And when you see instant gratification of whatever you do, it's extremely satisfying. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just want to wish everyone all the very best for the academic year. And I'm here at your disposal. And whatever little I've learned from life, if not for anything, having lived so many years on this planet, there are certain experiences that I can share from which people can learn. And my book was mentioned at the start. And the whole idea of that book was to just let people know the mistakes that I have made in my life. And the idea is that there's that famous saying where a father says to the son that I made 20 mistakes in my life, you go and make 20 new ones. And that was the whole purpose of the book, to highlight the mistakes that I made so that people know that this is something they shouldn't be doing, instead of actually trying to do it and then failing and then realizing. So I was just making them aware of the potholes that are there on the road, a bit like some areas in Mumbai city. So that was the whole purpose. So here I am. I'm very happy to be part of this group and looking forward to our interaction. So all the best to everyone, the teachers, the staff, the management staff, the students, the parents. Have a great academic year.
Thank you, Mr. Manjrekar, for your insightful and inspiring words. Your reflections on discipline, focus, and continuous growth have truly resonated with all of us. We are grateful for your time and for sharing your valuable experiences with our learners. It has been an honor to have you with us today. We request you to stay just a bit longer as we move into the next segment with our learners.
Thank you, Ms. Gagnita, and thank you, Mr. Manjrekar. Your book is definitely on my read list now. All right. As the innings now gets underway, our learners are ready at the crease, eager to pitch their questions your way. We now invite our learner representatives who have fielded questions from learners across 21K school to step in and take guard. The pitch is set, the energy is high.
Absolutely, Ms. Manju. I couldn't agree more. First, we have Mitansh Deshmukh from the Indian Middle School. Mitansh Deshmukh is an exceptional young all-rounder and FIDE-rated chess player. A left-arm pacer and batsman preparing for MCA Under-14 invitation matches, he has earned multiple Man of the Match awards. With over 25 plus achievements in chess, he combines sharp strategic thinking with strong athletic performance, building both mental and physical excellence. Over to you, Mitansh.
Good morning, sir. I'm Mitansh.
Morning.
Truly an honor to interact with you today. My question to you is, when you face a difficult or unexpected situation in life or go through a challenging phase where you feel unsure about what to do, how do you stay calm and make the right decision?
It's a good question. And I'm in the same situation right away now, wherein this was unforced. I didn't want to see the questions actually, because I wanted to be instinctive in my responses. So I can say one thing, that if you're going into any area, your sport of choice is chess, mine was cricket, and generally in commentary and whatever I've done in life, and everyone does, preparation is the key. It is very important that you prepare yourself so well that nothing seems like it's come as a surprise. And here I want to give the example of Sachin Tendulkar, who I played a lot with. Now, this is a guy who had prodigious talent. He was better than most of his opponents by far. But even when he played at the club level or Ranji Trophy level, where the bowling opposition would be, not really up to his level, where he would find it challenging, he still went into every game preparing himself thoroughly. And this is where, Tendulkar was different. He had this great talent, he had confidence, but it was never overconfidence. One has to worry about overconfidence, because the moment you're overconfident, you take things for granted. You think, you've done this 100 times before. It's not going to be an issue at all. But Tendulkar would come out, and if I was batting at the crease, he would come and ask me about a particular bowler before he had faced the ball, saying, how is that bowler bowling? And I used to tease him deliberately. I used to tell him that, for you, it's not an issue for a batter like you, because he's a Ranji Trophy bowler, ordinary bowler, so you won't have a problem. And he was never satisfied with that answer. He wanted me to actually tell him something that would get him to respect that bowler even more. So that was his way of making sure that the great confidence that he had didn't make him casual. So he would actually raise the challenge for himself so that he was up and ready and not overconfident and taking things for granted. So the important thing is preparation. Think of every eventuality and whatever that challenge you're facing. If you've done it 1,000 times or 10,000 times, even if there is a surprise, you'll handle it better than the other people. It's a bit like singing. People who do a lot of practice, riyaz, when they go on the stage and sing live, maybe the first, couple of minutes, they're a bit anxious, nervous, and something goes wrong. But because they have rehearsed it so many times, their effort in their own heart would be about 7 out of 10. But the people listening would think, what a brilliant start. So prepare yourself so much, so well, that your 7 out of 10 is 10 out of 10 for people. So the key is to prepare yourself thoroughly. And even if there's surprise around the corner, and sometimes you will not have answers to it. But the important thing, which fortunately I have it in my nature, is to have clarity. So I'm very good at picking what's right and what's wrong. Eventually, it may turn out to be a wrong decision, but it's very important to be clear at the time and pick the one that you think is the right choice and trust yourself because you've done all the homework on it. And that's the way to go about, I feel.
Thank you, sir, for guiding us and inspiring our journey.
Thank you.
Mitansh, that was a beautifully pitched question. Right on the mark, setting the tone and adding great value to the conversation today.
Well said, Ms. Gagnita. Continuing with this wonderful exchange, let's invite our next learner, Chinmay Bhide, who was selected for the Under 15 Probables 2024-2025 season. She has represented AP and Telangana at the School Games Nationals 2022-2024 and was selected for the SGFI Under 17 Team 2023-2025. Known as the Jaunty Rhodes of her team for her exceptional fielding, she has competed at the state level and is admired for her discipline, dedication, and 100% practice attendance. Please join me in welcoming Chinmay Bhide.
Good morning, sir. I'm Chinmay, and I'm truly excited to be here today. It's an honor to be a part of this interaction with you. My first question to you is, looking back at your playing career, what habits helped you to maintain consistency in your performance?
Yeah, thanks for that question, and congratulations on all your achievements so far. Bhide is a very sort of familiar surname for me because my wife is a Bhide. I found the Bhides to be pretty unique people, so I'm sure you are as well. Right. So the question was basically, what is it that held me in good stead? Is that what you want to ask me exactly?
Looking back at your playing career, what habits helped you maintain consistency in your
Habits.
performance?
Yeah. So, the most overrated thing, and I've seen that in many people, is potential and talent. He's got a lot of talent and he's got great potential. Those are the gifts that have come from the Almighty when you're born. So it's something that one should never be too proud of because it's something that you've never worked at. So those gifts are there. What you make of those gifts is the important thing. And there are two areas, of performances, public performances that are very close to me. One is obviously cricket. The other is singing. I'm sure there would have been thousands of people who were gifted with the kind of voice, say, a Kishore Kumar or Lata Mangeshkar or Arijit would have. But what they did with the potential and the talent is the key. And I think there is one very simple habit, and it's the same for everyone. There is a book called, Outliers, and there's a there's a guy called Malcolm Gladwell who talked about the 10,000 hours, where if you put in the hours, the results come. So if you have the potential and you have a potential to be the best fielder, but if you put in the hours, so basically the habit is to keep doing those things every day, even if they seem boring. Try and make it exciting so that it doesn't seem boring. I'm talking about my playing days, which were, many, many years back. You may not know the name of this guy, but maybe your dad, your parents would. Mohammad Azharuddin was the captain that I played under. Now, he was very famous for his fielding, apart from his, batting. And he used to keep telling us, he would be very unhappy with the standards of fielding that we had in the Indian team at the time. So we had talent for batting, bowling, but our fielding used to let us down very often. But he was a guy who believed in fielding a lot. So he had the talent. He had naturally, big hands and, just a nice ball sense. But he used to keep telling us, and if somebody was slow on the ball or dropped a catch, and he used to say in his Hyderabadi Hindi, saying, क्या है ये लोग practice नहीं करते हैं, दिन में 100 catches लेना चाहिए, 100 catches लेगा तो हाथ ऐसा रखो तो ball आके चिपकता है. So that's a very nice way to look at things, that sometimes we say he was very lucky, the ball stuck in his hand, but the ball stuck because the hands are used to the feel of the ball. So the habit is very simple. Whatever talent you have, and this is something that's very important, I believe, and it can be practiced in this day and age. You have to understand what's your greatest talent. Because a lot of people haven't used their greatest talent and have done something else because that is the norm or because of some other pressure. So it's very important to pick out. Slowly, you'll know what is your greatest talent. And when you have to hone that skill and the talent, the habit has to be it's got to be an everyday thing. It can't be weekends or, I'll do it 3 times a week. It's just got to be about taking 100 catches every day. Just making, and if that kind of becomes fun doing that, then, you're set for life. Another area that is close to me these days is physical fitness. In the last 3-4 years, I've gone exploring this, and this is the pursuit of excellence that I currently have, of physical fitness. So if there's anybody who's really fit, I get very excited and I see them, and then immediately, I ask those people, and they could be simple guys. There was a guy who came to fix my window a couple of years back. And when I looked at him, I realized that he's a guy who had nice muscles and fit guy. So I asked him, कि हफ्ते में कितने बार जाते हैं आप जिम? So he said, sir, ये तो रोज का है. So that was a very he was being very modest and humble. He said, it's not kitne din, it is roj ka, ut ke ye main karta hu ye. So that is it. That's the answer to your question. The habit is to just do it day to day, and day to day discipline is, I think, the key to excellence.
Thank you, sir. That's very insightful. Next,
Thank
I
you.
would like to ask, in a game of uncertainties like cricket, how can learners build self-lasting belief that goes beyond performance and results?
Yeah, that is now a very interesting thing, because that has everything to do with your confidence if things don't go your way. And my book actually highlights that aspect as well. What I've seen in great performers and people who, set records and achieve new heights versus people who didn't quite make it. Or in cricket, what is the difference between a cricketer who had a very, very long career of excellence, whereas somebody who just had 3 or 4 years of excellence? Is their ability to recover from failures. So it is completely to do with temperament. You could be practicing every day, day-to-day discipline, habits, but if your nature is such that one failure you take to heart and you lose confidence easily, then you don't bounce back from that easily. Now, Virat Kohli is one, Indian batter that I found had tremendous self-confidence. That was his greatest strength. There was one series where he went to England and he averaged just 30 in that series. It was a tough one. The next series that he played, again, which was overseas, was in Australia. And the first test match that he walked out, I was actually keenly observing him, how his body language was and how he was playing. He was going to play and face the challenge. And the first test match was in Adelaide. And I remember him walking out on that ground like he was the king of Adelaide, with the same kind of uh, the body language was exuding tremendous confidence, but it was not something that he was projecting or manufacturing. It was something that he deeply believed. So it's a very temperament thing, and temperament is a sporting term for your nature. So it's one of the difficult things to address, because changing your nature is not easy. But the only way you can do that, like Virat Kohli, if you keep believing that, yes, I averaged 13 in the last test, and yes, I had a couple of setbacks, but I'm still a very good, cricketer, or I'm still very good at my job. I've done my necessary preparations. And if there is some technical lesson to be learned from the failures, you take that on board, but don't embrace or get too intimate with failures. Just keep them at a distance and be on the track. Now, this is a good question, and everyone listening in must realize this it is directly connected with your nature. It's about not losing confidence. And the difference between a great cricketer and an average cricketer is that the great uh, players bounce back from failures a lot quicker, and failures don't affect them as drastically as it does some of the other players.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Lastly, it would help me greatly if you could share what is the process to be followed by a young player like me to become a part of the Indian cricket team?
Fortunately, you're in the right country where you can't say that about all the other aspects of India, but in cricket, there is a nice kind of what should I say, a path that's already set for people like you. It starts with actually in your locality finding a place where there are nets. They call it academy these days, but these are basically cricket nets, where you go, and if you show uh, a commitment, go there every day and show some talent, there is a vested interest that the coach have in actually promoting you. So no coach is actually going to try and suppress you, or ruin your career and all that. You get to hear all these stories, but the coach actually gets a lot of attention, recognition if one of his students make it to the next level. So that is where you start. And then slowly, automatically, at every stage, there are these grades of cricket that we have. And for women cricket, it's now shaping up even better. For men's, it was well established. So it starts with your local nets, and then slowly, then there'll be another, place where the slightly better students come. Then you are picked to go there, or you volunteer yourself to be part of those nets, and then they start having friendly matches. Then you have the junior women's team, the under-19 team, and all that happens. So in India, cricket is a sport where everything is laid out nicely, and all you have to do is make great use of the opportunity and keep it very simple. So when you are young, you're not really playing so much for the team per se, but you're playing for the coach. So the coach is really somebody that is invested in you, which you don't find so much when you play for India or at the highest level, where the coach has many other pressures. But your locality coach or your grassroots level coach, just try and impress every coach that you uh, come in contact with at various levels, because that is exactly what I did. If I had a certain coach on a trip to, say, Gujarat to play for the Kuch Bihar under 19, my aim was to impress the coach. And how do you do that? By doing exactly what he wants and what the team needs, and what one player should be doing. So keep it simple, impress the coach, and those paths are just laid out and they'll just open up for you all the time.
Thank you once again, sir, for your time
Thank
and
you.
inspiring us all with your valuable insights. I'm
Thank you.
grateful to have conversation with you.
Thank you.
Well, Chinmay, your thoughtful and beautifully expressed questions were truly spot on, inspiring everyone and adding great depth to the conversation today.
Yes, Miss Manju. That's exactly what I felt too. With that, we now move on to our final learner of this segment, Ahan Das Gupta from Grade 9, British Senior School. Ahan is an IGCSE Year 1 learner and an under 19 district player for the Baroda Cricket Association. He's deeply passionate about cricket and is committed to developing his game through disciplined training and competitive match experience. Alongside sports, he enjoys creative storytelling and strategic thinking and aspires to represent India at the international level. Welcome, Ahan.
Thank you, Ms. Gagnita. Good morning, Mr. Sanjay Manjrekar.
Good
It's
morning.
a truly it is truly a privilege to engage in this Q&A session with you on behalf of our learners at 21K School. To begin with, I would like to know that as a young cricketer aiming for higher levels like me, what is the one skill or mindset that separates players who make it to, you could say, the top level from those who don't?
I think I have sort of addressed that issue in the earlier questions as well. So
Yeah,
so what happens
yes.
is that everybody is blessed with a certain amount of talent. And I've seen a lot of talent as I've grown up. And sometimes people are given so much talent that even if they don't try hard enough, they seem to make the grade. But to achieve the highest, mm, accolades or be right at the top, only talent is not enough. So the one big difference that I've seen between people who don't achieve as much and the others who do is how badly you want it. Some are there, they want it, but are not that desperate to want it. I wanted it very badly. I wanted to play for India like you want to play for India, Ahan. But desperately wanted to do it. I didn't see a life where I was not playing cricket and not playing for India. So it was something that I had brainwashed myself into thinking that that's got to be my goal. And as I said, you just have to want it more badly than the others. Everybody's making an effort. But if your effort is greater than theirs, and if your hunger is greater than theirs, there's a good chance you'll make it. I want to give an example of the Indulkar in a festival match that we played many years back in Kolkata at the Eden Gardens. It was an exhibition match, and it wasn't a serious match. So we were having fun. A lot of people had come to watch it. But Tendulkar is somebody who loved to bat, loved to play cricket, and he hated getting out. Now, nobody likes getting out, but he hated it more than anyone else. So in this exhibition match, he played one shot and he got out. Somebody took the catch in the deep. But because it was a friendly match, he refused to walk out. He said, "No, I want to keep batting." And the crowd was a little surprised as to what was happening. Then the umpire also raised his finger, gave him out. And we were in the fielding side and we said, "Hey, Sachin, you're out. Come on, walk." And he said, "No, no, I want to keep batting. I don't want to." Because it was an unofficial game. He felt, what's the harm in a match like this for me to continue batting? Now, he was playing for India at the time. He was playing a lot of cricket, but this was just an exhibition match. Any other player would have thought, it's damn hot. Might as well, go in the dressing room, in the air-conditioned room. And who cares about this exhibition match? Nobody, it's not going to go in the records. But he just wanted to bat. And the public that had come, a good 70, 80,000 people had come to watch that game, wanted to see Tendulkar bat. So there was that thing as well. So we said, okay, fine, for the fans, let's get him to bat. And he batted. And then he played a long innings and must have got 100 or whatever. But that is the difference between him and the others. That you just got to want it badly. And then you put in all the things that I mentioned, the day-to-day discipline, the habit, the grind. But it's almost like you've got to be single-minded. So when I was in college and I was pursuing cricket, I remember one friend of mine who was an academic. He said, "What are you going to do when you grow up?" And I said, "I'll play cricket and play for India." He said, "What if you don't make it?" And I had no answer to that because I'd never sort of imagined my future without playing cricket and playing for India. So that's how single-minded I was, and that was, I think, one of the main reason that I ended up achieving my dream.
So thank you. That was a very, very valuable insight. Next,
Thank
I
you.
would like to hear your thoughts on a young player going through a slump. Would you recommend that they return to the nets to adjust their stance or grip, or should they avoid technical changes and focus purely on the mental approach?
Good question.
Hello.
And it's a very tricky thing. If what we call in cricket, a bad patch. If a bad patch comes along, then whatever you do, things don't work out. The main reason for that bad patch to continue is the mental side of things, which I mentioned earlier, of you losing confidence. So you go into a match, you've lost so much confidence that when you're going into a match, there are 100 thoughts in your head when the bowler is running in and coming into bowl, that you start forgetting the basics. And I've seen great cricketers who have been through bad patches. Actually, when they come into bat, they're trying to just get rid of all those thoughts, the mental clutter, and they are only sort of forcing themselves to go back to the basic. And the basic is just watch the ball and play accordingly. Now you spend hours and hours and years on your technique and your skills, and the same technique and the same skills, if it's got you success, and the same system is not getting you success anymore, then it's not anything to do with a technique. It's more a mind thing. So it's very important to just try and get rid of all those thoughts. It's one of the toughest things to do, but that is what you try and master. You go into a game and think, I'm the best. I'm just going through a bad patch, but I'm going to trust myself with what I'm doing. And there were batters who actually would take stance and then say quite audibly. I've heard actually people like Martin Crowe, a player from the 90s, say, watch the ball. He used to say that. That was his way of saying, just watch the ball and forget all other things. So those are the little tricks that one can practice. If there is one particular way that you're getting out, like Virat Kohli, the great Virat Kohli also had a problem outside the off stump. And if that is a problem, then it's a technical issue where the mind doesn't matter. Your confidence could be high, but there is a technical issue. Then that issue has to be solved by somebody who knows your game, not by somebody who just sees you for 10, 15 minutes and tells you to do something. And you trying to do that thing spoils all the other things. It's a very tricky, technical game, cricket. So it's very important that those technical changes are made by somebody who is smart, intelligent. There are a lot of coaches who will tell you things that might actually jeopardize the whole process of correcting your technique. So those are the two aspects. If it's one particular mistake that you're making as a bowler or a batter, then it's a technical thing which has to be solved by somebody who knows the game, somebody who knows you. But if it's 10, 15 ways that you're getting out, then it's a mind thing. So that you have to be mindful of.
I would like, this might go off topic, but I just wanted to ask you one more thing. So I have experiences a lot of downfall. I've experienced like my leg. I broke my leg and I was in the hospital for like 6 months and I couldn't play cricket for a year. And I did my comeback and everything. And what I felt was missing was that push, because after an injury or something, coaches and people see you in a different way. Like they start, some people start teasing you, but they are like protecting, like, don't push yourself, don't do this, don't do that. And I would like to ask that, what can you do to change that perception? And that, because in my experiences, I have faced a lot of ups and downs. I have shifted from places to places when my career cricket was going good. And right now I'm in a place where, so I'm in district right now. So I want to play state and all. And there's a little toughness in that, because what is happening is they are not letting me push myself. The coaches are kind of limiting me because of my past injuries. So how do I change this, perspective?
Yeah, so the trick there is to have your own little private session somewhere. It need not be in an academy or under uh, the tutorship of your coach. A lot of the skills that we learned and a lot of the way we became, efficient at whatever we did has come from mm, unorganized or unsophisticated cricketing setting. We used to call it gully cricket. It could
Yeah.
be Maidan cricket. It could be whatever. And I think what happens these days, and it's a fallacy, I believe, that once the parents feel that their kid has some talent, he has to go to an academy, which is fine. But the academy is there for a couple of hours or 3 hours, and the actual work that you put in, because there are others as well, may not be as much. So I believe that playing softball cricket with your friend, or if there is some area where they play tennis ball cricket and it's a very competitive kind of cricket that they play, now those are the places where you go and keep playing day in day out, because that is where you learn the hard lessons of playing in a competition. You're also enjoying. Nobody is trying to shackle you and say, this is the way you play or this is the way you bowl. You're just doing things that will get you results. So that is more a natural expression of your skills and how you play. So yeah, I'm a huge supporter, believer, and if you see a lot of the great players, their background has been tennis ball cricket, where they spend hours and hours playing. That Mahendra Singh Dhoni, his unique technique comes from tennis ball cricket. I played a lot of tennis ball cricket. Bumrah's unique bowling action and his competitiveness and how to bowl under pressure comes from his time that he spent playing softball cricket. So if somebody has some talent and has no tennis ball competitive kind of environment experience, then he tends to be a little more, you know, it is kind of it is schooled into him to play in this certain fashion. So the natural flair is lost a little bit. Street smartness, very important in matches, and that comes from playing these kind of matches. So if your coaches are um, being a little cautious, there's nothing stopping you from playing all these, disorganized cricket matches somewhere in your locality, in your district. I'm sure there'll be lot of these kind
Yeah.
of matches. So go and volunteer playing those.
Yeah.
If they play every evening, make sure you just go and join them. You
Yeah.
learn some invaluable lessons there.
Okay. So yeah, I would move on now. So thank you for that adds great depth to our understanding. And from all of us at 21K School, thank you for such an enriching and inspiring interaction. It means a lot on you talking and giving your thoughts on cricket.
Thank you.
Well, Ahan, those were a wonderful set of questions. And with the passion that you have delivered the questions, we all appreciate. And I'm sure you have taken away some personal, inputs beyond the questions that you have asked. So that is completely invaluable. And Mr. Manjrekar, your responses reflected great perspective and precision, truly broadening and helping our learners, not just them, but as facilitators, us parents as well, I'm sure. And it has added tremendous value to this exchange.
Thank you.
And with those wonderful questions, we come to the close of this interactive segment. A big thank you to our learners and our guest of honor for making this session so enriching. At 21K, learning is not just about answering questions, it's about asking the right ones.
Okay, Mr. Manjrekar, we would like you to just hold on for a little longer.
Sure.
We would kindly request you to announce the star performers for the question quiz that we had played, and the performance you can see on the screen. Thank you.
Sure. Hmm.
Mr. Manjrekar, is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, I'm seeing the 21K school star performers' names, grade, and the pathway.
Mr. Manjrekar, would you like to just take their names? And I
Right.
think that would be enough.
Yeah, so the first name that I'm going to take is Hriday, British grade 10, British pathway. Take all the names?
Yeah. Either way.
Okay, right. I'm trying to pinch this and make it bigger. Yeah, so the names are Hriday. The next name is Ruchi Betala, Indian grade 7. Jayditya Seth, Indian grade 10. Katyayani Pandey, Indian grade 9. Marwa M, Indian grade 8. Ravyanshi Singh, Indian grade 8. Ananya Mathur, British grade 6. Kashvi Manohar, Indian grade 8. Ivan Mathur, British grade 2. And Darisi Surya Rishi, Indian grade 3.
Thank you, Mr. Manjrekar. I'm sure you've made their day. Trust me. All right, so it's time that after engaging the mind, we need to now move on to celebrate expression.
So, education is not just about intellect, it is about creativity, expressive, and deeply joyful, nurturing the mind as well as the spirit. In this spirit, we are proud to present Hasini and her performance. Hasini will be performing Brahmanjali, a traditional invocatory piece from the Kuchipudi classical dance compositions. This piece is performed at the beginning of a recital to seek blessings from the divine and to pay respect to the Guru, the audience, and the God. The choreography is by the renowned Kuchipudi maestro, Dr. Vempati Chinna Satyam, a recipient of the prestigious Padma Bhushan.
भुवनं यस्य वाचिको सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्र तारादि तो वदे सात्विको शिवो गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सभाकल्प तरुर्भाति सभाकल्प तरुर्भाति वेद शाकोपशोभितः शास्त्रपुष्प समाकीर्ण विद्वद्भ्रमर संयुतः
Well, Hasini, that was beautiful. A reminder that learning at 21K is not just intelligent, but also deeply expressive. Growth is never accidental. It is the result of consistent effort, thoughtful reflection, and strong collaboration. At 21K School, every milestone we achieve is a reflection of the dedication of our learners, facilitators, and families.
Each year tells a story of challenges embraced, innovations explored, and achievements celebrated. It is a journey shaped by resilience, creativity, and shared commitment to meaningful learning.
To walk us through this inspiring journey, highlighting the progress we have made and the vision that continues to guide us,
we now invite our head of schools, Ms. Aruna Shetty, to present the annual report and take us through the milestones that define our collective growth.
A very warm welcome to everyone present here this morning. As we draw close to another enriching academic year, 2025-26 emerges as a journey defined by curiosity, collaboration, and meaningful discovery. It feels like a moment of pause after a fulfilling voyage, reflecting on how remarkable the year has been and at the same time wondering how quickly it has flown by. Our theme for the year of mathematics, reminded us that numbers are far more than formulae. They are expressions of creativity, curiosity, and problem solving. Learning often felt like solving a complex equation where curiosity was added, collaboration multiplied, and perseverance guided us through every challenge. Anchored in our philosophy of personalized, flexible, and accelerated learning, and strengthened by an empirical understanding of learner progress, we delivered an extraordinary 137,200 hours of live Zoom classes this year. Each of these hours stands as tangible evidence of our commitment to high-quality personalized education where learners move at their own pace, facilitators respond to individual needs, and every session becomes a meaningful step in the learning journey. At 21K School, we hold a steadfast belief that every learner deserves a pathway that is distinctly their own, shaped by their pace, potential, and aspirations. This year, Century Tech remained integral to advancing our vision of deeply personalized learning, enabling precision, adaptability, and meaningful progress at scale. Across streams, learners engaged with remarkable rigor and consistency, completing over 111,770 learning nuggets, of which 25,454 were mastered with complete proficiency. They navigated nearly 979,410 questions, achieving 750,943 correct responses and an overall average performance of 73%. A closer look reflects strong outcomes across curricula. The British stream recorded an average of 71.7%. The British senior stream achieved an impressive 77.9%, while the Indian stream sustained a solid 73%. Yet, beyond these compelling metrics lies a more powerful narrative. These are not mere numbers, but reflections of learner agency, perseverance, and growth. They represent young minds developing independence, while facilitators are empowered with real-time insights to tailor instruction with precision and purpose. Learning flourished beyond screens. This year, 21K hosted Sports Day across multiple cities with a total of almost 1,000 plus learners participating alongside their buddies. The highlight was our first International Sports Day in Dubai, where over 200 learners took part and were cheered by over 300 parents. This milestone event not only showcased athletic talent, but also reflected our growing global community. It was a celebration of teamwork, resilience, and the strong parent partnership that defines 21K School. We had 34 offline events this year, from monsoon treks to carnivals, which strengthened our bonds. Highlights included the International Art Fest in Abu Dhabi and Malaysia, along with 11 national art fests. Over 130 parents joined us as guest speakers across grades, enriching learning with real-world insights. These moments reaffirmed that learning flourishes when relationships are nurtured and experiences are shared. The junior and senior student councils shaped school life with celebrations, clubs, and the innovative Wednesday challenges. They even organized a heartfelt farewell for the outgoing batch, proving that leadership flourishes when responsibility is embraced with enthusiasm. Leadership, much like mathematics, often begins with simple actions, listening, bringing ideas together, and working collaboratively towards shared goals. Nearly 2,000 learners participated in the ACER International Benchmark Test, which is the IBT, consistently outperforming national and international averages in English, mathematics, science, and reasoning. In English, we scored 647 compared to India's 570 and the international average of 595. In mathematics, learners secured 651, outperforming India's 624 and the international average of 614. In science, our learners achieved 650, which was well above India's 587 and the international benchmark of 583. In reasoning, learners scored 549 compared to India's 532 and the international average of 539. The overall average across all subjects was 4,490, reaffirming that personalized learning drives world-class achievement. At 21K School, we believe that life is to be profoundly celebrated, and that this spirit must permeate every dimension of school life. Our festivals of learning are thoughtfully curated as immersive intellectual journeys that transcend the confines of textbooks, where knowledge is not merely acquired, but vividly experienced. It is at the confluence of curiosity and creativity that learning truly comes alive. These festivals Celebrate a vibrant space for learners to express, explore, and engage deeply with ideas, transforming learning into an experience that is joyful, meaningful, and enduring. The Literary Fest celebrated the power of storytelling and the boundless realm of imagination. Mathalon reimagined mathematics as a world of puzzles, play, and intellectual delight. The Science Fest ignited inquiry into pressing global challenges such as climate change and the frontiers of emerging technologies. ArtFest 2026 themed Beyond Equations, Colors of Joy, Patterns of Unity, seamlessly wove together art and mathematics across 13 cities. Each festival stood as a powerful reminder that curiosity and creativity are not distinct pursuits, but complementary forces, two sides of the same coin that together shape inspired learning. The well-being of every stakeholder remains a cornerstone of our ethos at 21K School. This commitment was meaningfully reinforced as we celebrated International Yoga Day under the theme Yoga for One Earth, One Health, underscoring the deep interconnection between personal wellness and collective harmony. Our counseling and SEND teams further strengthened this focus through therapy sessions, Sukoon workshops, and thoughtfully designed inclusive practices for neurodivergent learners. We also continue to nurture a culture of psychological safety and belonging where every learner is seen, heard, and respected. Through proactive engagement, personalized support structures, and ongoing sensitization of facilitators and families, we strive to create an ecosystem that honors diversity in all its forms. These initiatives go beyond support. They affirm our belief that when well-being is prioritized and inclusion is intentional, every learner is empowered not just to participate, but to truly flourish. A major highlight this year was the Model United Nations, which is the MUN event, which brought together 117 participants with 10 external schools joining in. This event showcased our learners' ability to engage in global dialogue, diplomacy, critical thinking, and leadership while building bridges with peers from different institutions. These initiatives reflect our vision of holistic education, where parent partnership, external collaboration, and global exposure come together to empower learners at 21K School. These platforms reminded us that our learners are not just preparing for assessments, they are preparing for the world. At 21K School, we take great pride in celebrating excellence and nurturing future leaders. Talent hunts showcased creativity across grades 1 to 8. CAS activities such as the plastic recycling drive, where 2,500 packets were collected, and the Padhega India health literacy campaign, which reflected social responsibility, were celebrated. The school was honored at the Global Sustainability Awards 2025. The Rising Icon Awards, where we honored 12 outstanding learners who excelled in sports and the arts, while the Emerging Writers Award inspired creativity and storytelling with an incredible 644 participants across the school. Equally exciting was the Shark Tank of 2025, where 242 learners participated, honing skills in entrepreneurship and confidence. On the global stage, our learners shone at the International School Sports Olympiad, which is the ISSO, winning 7 gold and 2 silver medals and securing an impressive 24th rank among 224 schools. What makes this achievement even more remarkable is that all other participants were from physical schools, while 21K proudly stood as the only online school. Together, these initiatives highlight how our learners grow not only in academics, but also in character, creativity, and leadership. We are proud to share that we continue to be recognized as a Habits of Mind School of Excellence, earning certification for the third consecutive year from the Institute of Habits of Mind, USA, which is an affirmation of our sustained commitment to mindful inquiry, reflective discernment, and intellectual rigor. Facilitators invested 551 hours in professional learning, including 448 hours of induction, 83 hours of academic training, and 20 hours through the BIT program. Non-academic teams contributed an additional 24 hours. This sustained effort reflects a strong commitment to personalized learning and meaningful learner engagement across the school. Academic teams corrected nearly 49,680 pages of home assignments, ensuring personalized feedback for every learner. That is wow. This enormous effort reflects the dedication of our facilitators to provide detailed, individualized attention. We are delighted to share that our learners from the Indian senior and British senior schools have excelled in their board examinations with outstanding distinction. Their accomplishments stand as a testament to their perseverance and commitment, bringing immense pride to our community and reaffirming our pursuit of excellence in education. As I share these milestones, I invite you to reflect with me. Behind every number is a story. Behind every achievement is a child's journey. And behind every initiative is a community that believes in possibilities.
Ms. Aruna, please unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. As part of our continued focus on holistic and future-ready learning, initiatives such as learning garages in Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, and Bangalore, and the Flow program have provided learners with opportunities to build essential real-world skills beyond academics, including problem-solving, creativity, and critical thinking. While our strong online model remains the foundation, thoughtfully designed offline experiences have further enriched learning by offering meaningful real-world exposure. Looking ahead, the coming academic year will see the introduction of flexible batch timings, structured learning tiers, and optimized batch sizes. These enhancements are aimed at enabling more focused engagement and ensuring that every learner experiences a learning journey that is both supportive and deeply impactful. As I reflect on this year, I am reminded of Bruno Mars' timeless line, "You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there." It beautifully captures the spirit of our 21K community, a space where learners, parents, and facilitators consistently show up for one another with trust, encouragement, and shared purpose. Each milestone has contributed to a collective story where where curiosity thrives, creativity is celebrated, and every learner is empowered to discover their unique potential. As we step into the coming year, we do so with the belief that possibilities are limitless. When curiosity multiplies, creativity adds, and collaboration brings it all together, the result is always something extraordinary. The journey continues, dear parents, and the next chapter awaits us all. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Ms. Aruna Shetty, for presenting such a detailed and insightful annual report. Your reflections have beautifully captured our journey, the progress we have made, and the direction we are moving in as a school. We now request Ms. Vandana Khera, Head Learning and Development, to kindly present the vote of thanks. Welcome, Ms. Vandana.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. As we draw close to the end of our 7th inauguration day, on behalf of 21K School, I would like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to all those people who've made this event a success. We're truly privileged to have with us our guest of honor, the eminent cricketer and commentator, Mr. Sanjay Manjrekar, who captivated us with his wit, insight, and engaging persona. We thank him for taking the time to inspire and connect with the 21K community. Our sincere thanks to our tech support team, marketing and communication, category and growth, academic operations, our design team, members of the academic team, our principals, our anchors, and all those crew members for their seamless coordination and dedication. A special thanks to our CEO, Mr. Yash, for his vision and leadership. His focus on collaboration and community engagement continues to strengthen the foundation of 21K School. Last but certainly not the least, we extend our deepest thanks to our head of schools, Ms. Aruna Shetty. Her commitment to fostering a positive learning environment, along with meaningful engagement with the parent community, truly reflects the culture she continues to nurture here. To all the parents present today, we value your continued partnership in the development and growth of our learners. It is this collaboration that truly makes a difference. Gratitude to everyone who made this event possible. Your efforts are deeply appreciated. To our learners, parents, and our crew, have a great day and a fantastic academic session ahead. Thank you.